Hey guys! It sure has been a while since I've last made a video. Since the holidays have officially come once again, I thought it'd be fun to talk about the various holiday traditions that I've had throughout my life. The biggest tradition my family does is Wigilia. Wigilia is a Polish Catholic traditional feast held on Christmas Eve to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. Wigilia starts off with a breaking of the płatek, or sometimes referred to ironically as Jesus bread. Płatek is a very thin wafer, usually in white or light pink, with an engraving of a manger scene on them. Everyone gets a piece, and you go from the eldest to the youngest, breaking off a piece of their Jesus bread, and they break off a piece of yours, and you both eat it. The płatek symbolizes unity and familial bliss, as well as the breaking of the bread, or the idea that we are all consuming the body of Christ and that he is in all of us. After the płatek has been broken, it's time for the main event, the feast itself. Well, not quite yet. The table has to be set first. The tablecloth is stuffed with hay to represent the manger that Jesus was born in. The table is then properly set like you would see anywhere else, but with one extra seat. If anyone were to come to the door asking for a warm meal, we would have to invite them in. This is partially due to the spirit of the holidays, but also, you never know who the reincarnation of Jesus could be. Once the table is all set and ready to go, before we can eat, the youngest who is able to do so has to go outside and look for the first star. The first star is supposed to represent the North Star, the very star that the three wise men followed to find baby Jesus. Sometimes, on cloudy years, we will hide a fake star somewhere in the house and the youngest has to go and find it. Occasionally, we've even dropped this tradition since my family can be rather impatient. Once the first star has been found, now it is time for the main event, the actual feast. Everyone grabs a drink, we say grace, and then the food gets passed around. The foods on offer are a lot of traditional Polish foods, and there must be an odd number of courses. That, combined with you needing to at least try each course, will give you good luck in the new year. Now, as for what is on offer here, there are a lot of options, but there can't be a course that contains meat that has blood in it. I mean, my family is Catholic, and this is a holy day after all. We usually start off with a soup. There isn't one particular soup that we do each year, but it's typically some sort of mushroom or lentil soup. Last year, we even did like a roasted red pepper soup. The soup can be anything as long as it's meat-free. Fried fish fillets are the only meat option that is allowed on our dinner table. I don't know why fish are considered blood-free, but apparently fish are considered a blood-free meat. One of the most popular foods during Wigilia are pierogies. For the uninitiated, pierogies are Polish dumplings filled with mashed potatoes and something else such as mushrooms or cheese. All of this is contained in a shell made out of pasta. They are then either boiled or pan-fried and served with a side of sour cream. Our vegetable tends to be roasted asparagus, usually seasoned in things like garlic and butter. And then of course, what holiday feast isn't complete without dinner rolls? I don't believe our dinner rolls are handmade. I think everyone usually cheats and just uses the pre-made dough. Boo. Prunes are also a staple of Wigilia, which I tend to eat way too many of them and typically end up in the bathroom for at least an hour. But I like prunes, and I'm not afraid to admit that I get the shits. Kapusta is typically beloved by the older adults. Kapusta is just the Polish version of sauerkraut or fermented cabbage. I absolutely hate kapusta due to its super strong flavor. It's like drinking a bottle of vinegar. Blech. But everyone else seems to like it, so I guess I'm the weird one. And finally, the most infamous offering, sledja. Sledja is raw, brined, pickled herring often served in a sour cream sauce. Yes, it is about as nasty as it sounds. In fact, nobody in my family likes sledja. Everybody dreads the day that they finally have to take a bite, even a small one. The only person in the entire family who actually likes sledja is Jaji, my grandfather. Even when most of the overly traditional adults hate something, you know it's gross. After the meal, that's when Wigilia formally comes to an end. But that's not the end of the festivities. Of course, we have desserts, usually consisting of some local baked goods, as well as pies. Then, it's all of the kids' favorite part, the gift exchange. My great uncle dons a Santa hat and sits in a lounge chair in the center of the living room. Santa's little helper, or a child volunteer, hands him gifts, he reads the names, and SLH then gives them out. The person then opens their gift, and the cycle continues until we run out of gifts. I was SLH for a little while, as I was the youngest child in my family for a good 10-something years. I passed the role down to one of my cousins when I was about 12 or 13 after saying the role was kinda dumb and that I was too old for it. Since then, the role has been passed down once again to a different, even younger cousin. As for what kind of gifts I would get from my family, they haven't always been the greatest at getting me stuff I actually want. In all fairness, I don't spend a lot of time with my extended family. Hell, I don't even spend every holiday season with them. As a kid, I primarily got clothing. While I can appreciate a stylish and/or cozy piece as a fashionable young adult, as a kid, the last thing you want are clothes. Especially clothes that don't fit. No one in my family had gotten my size right back in the day, as I'd always been very short, but also very chunky. As a teen, I did get a lot of art supplies, such as sketchbooks and colored pencils, stuff that I actually do use. And last year, I got an oversized cheetah printed hoodie that you may have actually seen on stream before if you follow my streaming channel. After everyone had gone home and the house was cleaned, my parents would make hot chocolate and light a fire. My dad would read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" in front of the fire. He wanted me and my brothers to listen to the story, but my brothers would usually find an excuse to duck out. Eventually, I too started making excuses not to listen to the tale. You can only listen to a story so many times before you get bored of it, and this is coming from an autistic person. Anyway, after the story, I would write a letter to Santa and leave out a plate of cookies, carrots, and a glass of milk. Then, I had to go to bed while everyone else wrapped presents. I was supposed to be asleep, but since I was often way too excited, I would just lay in my bed watching cartoons on my phone. Eventually, I'd fall asleep. Once the crack of dawn came, I would run out of bed, start attempting to wake people up, and rush downstairs to see the fat stacks Santa left. We always had a rule that you weren't allowed to open the big presents until everyone was downstairs and at least partially awake and sober. However, the gifts in the stockings were free game. Once everyone was downstairs, we would pass out gifts, but we all had to open them one at a time while the rest of us watched. Yes, this was incredibly slow and agonizing to a young child with undiagnosed ADHD. After all the presents were opened, we would chill for a bit before going to my great uncle's for brunch. After brunch, that was it. Christmas Day has always been kind of a relaxed day for us. Things changed quite a bit in 2012. My parents had split, so they came up with a new arrangement. An arrangement that we continue to this very day. I would spend Christmas Eve with one parent, and then Christmas Day with the other, and then alternate the next year. So, some years I would spend Christmas Eve with my mom, and she does things a bit differently on account she's not Polish nor Catholic. My mom makes her holiday lasagnas, including a white sauce and spinach one for me since I don't eat meat. Before dinner, the in-laws come over, and there is usually a cheese board consisting of smoked Gouda, a cranberry goat, and sharp cheddar and crackers. Then, once dinner is ready and the table is all set, we'd eat, and I got to open some presents early since I'm not usually with my mom on Christmas Day. After the in-laws leave, my mom and her boyfriend tend to drive around their neighborhood looking at the lights. Then, bed. The next morning, I'm usually woken up by a text or a knock at the door, and then we open presents. My mom doesn't have the same rule as my dad, and so we get to open presents all at the same time, but usually start with the stockings just because it's easier. I would then gather what I wanted to take with me, and my mom would just drop me off at my dad's house. On the years that I was with my mom on Christmas Day, she would usually come pick me up after having dinner with the in-laws. I got to open presents, and that was really about it. Nothing crazy. The final tradition that I do during the holidays is the very one you're watching. This is a redraw of a piece that I first created about 6 years ago in 2018, known as Merry Festivities. Merry Festivities was first drawn in 2018, as I literally just said, as a fun holiday piece featuring my Invader Zim OC Zara. The joke is that since Urkins sometimes speak very literally, Zara would wish everyone Merry Festivities and a happy darkening of the sky to all instead of a happy holidays and a good night to all. While Zara is dressed in a Christmas-themed outfit, it could be interpreted for any holiday you may choose to celebrate, hence Merry Festivities instead of Merry Christmas. Or Merry Birth of Christ, I guess. As to why I started redrawing this piece in the first place, well, this would usually be the final image I would draw in the year, and it's cool to see how my style has changed over time. That, and the first iteration of this image was so hideous that I was unsatisfied with it and thought I could do better. While each iteration is better than the last, I am still unsatisfied with the final results. I am a bit of a perfectionist after all. And there you go, a brief video discussing the various holiday traditions that I have done and or currently do. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, regardless of what you celebrate, if anything at all, and here's to hoping that 2025 isn't going to be as bad as once thought. I know I've been absent for quite a while. I do hope next year to bring more content when I have time, and continue streaming on the second channel. Anyway, peace, love, and Rarksty, and I hope to see you guys all in the new year. Alright,